Hi, welcome to episode 165 of your favorite daily podcast, A Couple of Things, a podcast about things. Today, I'm going to be talking about that feeling when you want to do something, then someone tells you to do it, and then you feel like you don't want to do it anymore. So, let's talk about that. So, earlier in the year, when I read The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, which I've talked about a bit on this podcast already, I was reminded of a phenomena, something that, an occurrence, a thing that happens called reactance. And reactance is basically when you don't feel like you're in control of your own decisions, or like you're not the one that is driving your choice to do something or to not do something, then you don't do it even if you really want to do it. So let me give you an example which basically characterized a lot of my childhood. So my room will be a mess, and I'll be like, oh, I'm going to arrange my room this evening or tomorrow morning or whatever. Then when my mom comes to say, Lade, arrange your room, I then get very upset. I'm like, nope, I'm no longer doing it because now she has told me to do it. Because I was going to do it without her telling me to do it, and now she has told me to do it. Now I don't want to do it because I don't want her to think I'm doing it because she told me to do it. Children are weird. But but yeah, so that is the basic idea of reactance. Hi, it's me, reminding you to subscribe and also to send questions so that I have more things to talk about. The link to submit questions is in the show notes. Okay, let's get back into the episode. While that example is a small, not really big deal experience where reactance can occur, it is a good illustration of the phenomena. I feel so smart every time I say the word phenomena, but anyway, phenomenon, whatever. Reactance is basically you responding in the opposite of the way that someone else has asked you, requested, told, demanded of you to respond in, even if you also originally wanted to do the thing that they had said. But the reason why we experience reactance, or why reactance happens, is usually when we feel like somebody else is in control of what we do or say or how we act, or when we feel like somebody else wants to be in control of our behavior or our action, which in the example I gave earlier, where I felt like my mom telling me what to do was me, I felt like she was trying to control me. I was like, no, you cannot control me or whatever. And so I chose not to arrange my room, which, like, when you say it out loud, it sounds quite stupid. Okay, maybe not stupid, because like human behavior is interesting. It sounds quite interesting, but it makes, like, I need to arrange my room anyways. Why does it matter that it's my mom that told me to do it? And even though I already wanted to do it, but because she has said it. And even now, if you think about it, think about like some recent, just take a moment and think about yourself, your life, your recent actions and decisions. Has there been anything that you did because somebody else told you to do the opposite? Or has there been something that you didn't do because somebody else told you to do it? Even when you know, or you knew that not doing that thing was bad for you, but because someone else told you, you're like, no, I'm not going to do it. And it's because we feel like our freedom is being threatened. That's how we react in that way. And this is very common among teenagers. Again, teenagers are quite interesting. Teenage rebellion, all of those things. That is the basis of all of those behaviors. So now, why am I telling you all of this? What's the point? Now, let's get into that. Of course, if you want to read more about reactance or learn about it, I'm going to put some links in the show notes, in the description, so you can follow up on that. But why I'm talking about this now is sometimes in real life important situations, we do this as well. So imagine that you want to apply to school. You feel like that's what you want to do, and you want to apply to a particular school. But then everybody starts telling you, are you not going to apply to school? When are you going to apply to school? We apply to school, and so on and so forth. Then you may be like, no. Nobody can tell me what to do. I was going to do this thing, but because you've asked me to do it, I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not going to apply to school. Which now, again, but you don't want to go to school. So is your desire to go to school less important than your desire to feel in control, or to make somebody believe that, oh, you can't tell me what to do, right? Or even at work, your manager asks you to do something, or you're assigned a task, even though already you were going to do that task, even though that task is important to your work, you may feel like, no, you can't tell me what to do. I have control. But this is why we have to take some time to think about it, right? And to say, what do I actually want? Why am I reacting in this way? And does this reaction, like, it makes sense as a human psychological behavior, it's a thing that happens a lot, right? But like, based on the outcome that I want, does it make sense? Also, it's important for us to consider reactants as we also try to advise people, especially when they did not ask you for your advice, of which don't be giving people advice I did not ask you for, except in some situations where it can be allowed. Like, I don't want to go into it, but it's like, sure, gauge the situation. But like, thinking about when you want to give people advice, when you want to give people like tell people what to do, even in a situation where you have the quote unquote authority to tell people what to do, to combat reactants, you have to be careful about how do you frame it, and how are you giving people these asks or these pieces of advice, and so on and so forth. And then consider if you are the right person to even give that advice or to give that direction or whatever. Consider that as well when you're trying to make these kinds of decisions of how to get people to do stuff. So I want to end this with a quote from The Psychology of Money. So this is Morgan Housel quoting Jonah Berger, a marketing professor at the University of Pennsylvania. And the quote is, people like to feel like they're in control, in the driver's seat. When we try to get them to do something, they feel disempowered. Rather than feeling like they made the choice, they feel like we made it for them. So they say no, or they do something else, even when they might have originally been happy to go along. So with that, take some time, think about yourself, maybe that friend that I've been trying to get to do something, your sister, your brother, that I've been trying to get them to something, and it seems like this makes sense for you to do, but they don't want to do it. Maybe reactance is what is at work, and maybe you can find a better way to get through to them, or allow other people to get through to you when you are aware that the reason why you are reacting negatively to somebody telling you to do something that you already wanted to do is because of reactance. Thank you for listening. Bye. Thank you for listening to today's episode of A Couple of Things. If there was anything you found interesting or insightful, or you enjoyed the episode, please do share to someone or multiple people. Like, leave a comment, and definitely do subscribe and all the nice things. Bye.